Hello, hello, and good morning. We need to talk. We need to talk about this workplace and your feelings about work. How your feelings about work actually determines your relationship and your intimacy with Yahweh. You don't want to get caught up in work, having that be your focus and not having the glory of the Lord be your focus. So let's get into these power moves that we have been going over to help you understand what your worship should look like in the workplace. At least what my worship looked like in the workplace and how it saved me from falling victim to the system. You got to hear this. You got to hear this. Let me get to my notes. In 2015, I was fired for disability from a major U.S. hospital. Fired for disability from a major U.S. hospital. I'm Glenn A. Davis, your workforce care nurse. When workplace stress, injury, fear, or discrimination come for us, we need the right tools to contend. That's why you now have employee mental health education. The least, you know what? I'm about to go through this thing again and it's not, hold on. Mm-mm. I got new equipment, so I'm just gonna start this over. Ain't nobody on here anyway, so I'm just gonna go through the motions. This is take two. Stop what you are doing. Come and check out this lesson on power move number 4. I hear so many black women, registered nurses, and believers griping about the workplace like they don't have a God. Do you have a God? Let me tell you my story. In 2015, I was fired for disability. Mm-mm. What's that? Oh, yeah. I'm just, God. Okay. Stop what you're doing, sis. Let me ask you a question. I understand that work is overwhelming, but has anyone asked you, what is God asking you to do? There are so many black career women, registered nurses, and believers who say that they are Christians, who say that they love Jesus, who go to church, who do all of the religious things, but when it comes to the workplace, they won't bust a grape. They won't bust a grape. They will not do any of the spiritual lessons that they have learned from church, from their reading of the Bible, from the unctions of their Holy Spirit. Why? Do you trust God? Do you know Him? If you won't listen to Him, do you think that He will know you at judgment? At Judgment Day? In 2015, I was fired for disability from a major U.S. hospital. I'm Glenn A. Davis, your workforce care nurse. When workplace stress, injury, fear, or discrimination come for us, we need the right tools to contend. That's why you now have employee mental health education, the least invasive treatment first. So you can make informed employment, mental health, and faith based decisions from a sound mind as you direct the course of your life toward your unique health equity goal. There are 10 power moves. Over the next 10 business days, you'll discover one power move to counter career burnout. Power can be defined as the capacity, the ability, and the willingness to act. I did a whole lesson on power, the definition of power, explaining capacity, ability, and willingness to act. If you haven't already, go check out that video. Career burnout often leaves employees feeling powerless. Every power move that you're going to learn from me over the next 10 days is an action, faith action, designed to help you reclaim your power. Today's power move is focus. Do not ignore the burning bush. The fire will not consume you if you submit to finish the race. So I'm not talking about the focus like I'm focusing on this. I'm focusing on this. Focus is actually a fire. Okay? It's a fire. It's something that draws your awareness. It's something that happened to Moses when he was in the wilderness, where the bush was on fire and he saw that it would not consume him. That awareness, that a focus drew Moses to that. And once he became aware, God called him. So if you have become aware of a situation and it's drawing your attention, your awareness, and your focus to the focus, I want you to consider that you are being called to do something for Yahweh in the workplace. Don't ignore it. Because once you ignore an awareness, you become the evil, you become the wicked, you become the coward, you become the one that Jesus will say, "Get away from me, I never knew you." That's how important it is to understand what's happening at a spiritual level when you're dealing with workplace issues. So don't ignore that burning bush. The fire will not consume you if you submit to finish the race. Submit to finish the race because I know you got a whole lot going on and I don't want to just slide by that, just skate by that like you don't have mortgage, like you don't have a car note, like you don't have children, like you don't have responsibilities, like you don't have a God. Listen, if God has called you, nothing else matters. Nothing else can matter but your submission and your obedience. You handle the business, your Father's business that is in front of you. And I promise you that the word promises you that He knows what you need. He will take care of what you need. And that trust is the hardest thing that you can ever, how can I say that? Trusting God with your paycheck, with your work, with paying your bills is hard. I'm not going to say that it's not. But God is a miracle worker. Lean not on your own understanding, but every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. You, your job is only a mustard seed of faith, and Christ Himself is the author and the finisher of your faith. So, my capacity for the mustard seed is not the same as your capacity for the mustard seed. Christ is the author and the finisher of your capacity of faith. All you have to do is begin to exercise it. Let go of the logic. Let go of the academia understanding. This is probably why God pulled me out of getting a dual degree. I am a proud graduate dual degree dropout. And the indoctrination is real. I was accepted into a psychiatric mental health and nurse practitioner program and I withdrew. And then I was accepted into a dual degree program for business administration and an MBA because I thought that I needed those degrees and those letters to be listened to. But y'all don't want to hear sound doctrine. You don't want to hear sound doctrine. You don't want to hear what your responsibility is when it comes to workplace. You think that somebody else is supposed to do something for you, like give you access to your rights. It would be nice. It would be a beautiful thing if somebody was to just see that you were in need of something and say, "Here, take it." You can test that spirit, and if it works for you, then you're not facing discrimination or discernment. Discrimination and discernment are the exact same words. Black women experience discrimination at a higher rate in the workplace because you are being called, but you let your education, you let your paycheck, you let your ooh wee, you let your ego in wanting to be seen by your oppressor, by your enemy, that you too now have a degree. That is not relationship building with Yahweh. You can play religion or you can be in a relationship with God. You can continue to get your education and say that God sent you there. That's not my experience. Like I just said, God put me out. I literally only completed the sixth grade. I had credits that did not even reach the eighth grade, a product of Los Angeles Unified School District. And when I tell you that this is all God, then this is true. This is all God. And I just want to make sure that your education and your dedication to academia is not interfering with your ability to hear the Spirit of God. And I didn't mean to ruffle your feathers when I talked about how you as black women want to get these degrees and get these letters behind your name and then showboat and showcase your academia goals and aspirations and achievements. It's a beautiful thing. It's just not a godly thing. And so you have to choose what it is that you want. Do you want life with Christ or do you want recognition from the man, from the system, from the powers that be here who are really not powerful at all? I don't know who that message was for, but if it was for you, I hope you take it and you accept it with love because that's the intention. Love is always the intention from me. So do not ignore your burning bush, okay? Do not reason it away with logic. Do not walk away from an awareness that you have in the workplace because your paycheck, your identity, and your health benefits is tied to it because you will surely need those things when you choose those things. And I don't want to need my health insurance. No, I've seen it in action. I've no, no. And I've also seen how God heals and turns around disease processes because of obedience. I want you to remember that the fire will not consume you if you submit to finishing the race. That is your responsibility is to submit and be obedient to God. You already know that the burning bush wasn't there to destroy Moses. He was intrigued by it. He was caught off guard by it. Moses was minding his own business, doing his own thing when he was called. Many of you are at the pinnacle of your career. Many of you are enjoying life like you have never enjoyed it before. traveling, dating, children are almost grown, driving luxury vehicles, decorating your townhome, and then something happens that threatens to take away everything that you worked so hard to build. It's God. So many black women climb their corporate ladders, and then when they get to the place where they should be the happiest, everything on the outside is looking beautiful, but everything on the inside is falling apart. Darkness dwells. There's an awareness there that you need to focus on. Sometimes we're so consumed with surviving work that you miss what God is trying to show you. You're focused on the next shift. You haven't even taken a breath after this shift, and you're focused on the next shift. You're focused on the next bag, your next paycheck. You're exhausted already and already thinking about nurse math, girl math. You're overdoing yourself for your next performance review. You're wondering about the next conflict that's going to happen at work because maybe you remained silent about something that mattered at work. When the enemy plants seeds of doubt or sees a discourse within you and you don't check it, you don't clap back immediately, it's going to continue to rear its ugly head at you until you the one that feels like a loser, until you the one that feels like you have lost something. Meanwhile, God is asking you to turn. Turn from those ways and focus on your awareness. Focus on the awareness that I am showing you. You are on holy ground. Trust me with your income. Trust me with your life. Trust me with raising where you are. That when I look at the fact that God allowed me to finish my bachelor's degree in nursing, and immediately after I got my bachelor's degree, my injury happened, my calling happened, my awareness happened. He had given me just enough that He wanted to use so that He can raise it. Because can you imagine if I was doing workforce care, this innovative nursing practice that God has gifted me for completing an assignment, that had I done it with numerous letters behind my name, that I would think that I did this in my own strength, forgetting to give God the glory. Don't let that go over your head. The burning bush, the focus that's happening to you at work right now, the awareness, whether or not it is something someone said, there's a conviction there with you over a burden that you just saw, a conversation you weren't expecting to have. Don't ignore those things. Those are moments you cannot ignore. Those are leadings, those are promptings. A closed door, an open door. Do not confuse the closed door with an open door. Don't confuse a closed door with a mountain that you need to move. I hear a lot of people talk about closed doors, but what if it's a mountain that you need to speak to move and not actually a closed door? Then what? Then what? If you have this persistent call in you to do something different than what other people are doing, a lot of people are passive. They're complacent, and that might be okay for them, but it's not okay for you because you have an awareness. If you have an awareness of something, you can't sit in the same comfort that other people are sitting in. You have an awareness, so therefore you have a calling, and something you need to do is different than what other people are doing. Okay? Recognize when God is inviting you to stop long enough to hear his voice. The fire was never the danger. The three Hebrew boys went into the fire. Nebuchadnezzar set the temperature even higher on that fire. The fire was never the issue. The obedience and the willingness to go into the fire was the blessing because they trust in Yahweh. Trust in Yahweh. Don't ignore your awareness. This is about power move number 4, your focus. Career burnout doesn't just exhaust your body, it competes for your attention. Don't become distracted by the demands of work that you miss the presence of God. Don't take compassion on other people, your managers being overwhelmed with other things to do. Don't. Sometimes you have timelines that you should not ignore. Your concern should be your agency first, your body before corporate agency. Work is a business transaction. It is not an intimate relationship. You have rules. I don't like the word rules. You have policies taken directly from state and federal laws that your employer, should be playing by. Don't let it become tyrannical to the point where your boss is exercising these rights and you're just not exercising any rights. You have a right. You have a right to information. You have a right to the least invasive treatment first. You have a right to be understood. You have a right to um, confront your accuser. You have so yeah, like don't let people take away your rights. The burning bush wasn't sent to consume Moses. It was meant to commission him. It's meant to commission you also. Submit to God, stay focused, finish your race. If you have been experiencing job stress longer than 6 weeks, take the work fatigue quiz. The work fatigue quiz can help you get a better understanding on what's causing your problems, okay? So that you can identify your next right step. We're reading from Operation Mental Health. These are lessons on 10 power moves that I used to help me overcome the hardest challenge of my life, which was workplace discrimination based on disability. Like I said, I was fired for disability from a major U.S. hospital. But what came after, sound mind, health, lifting the nursing platform, innovative nursing work called workforce care, perfume oils, like beauty from the ashes came. So this is just a testimony to what so many of America's workforce give up when they are dealing with workplace issues that lead them into the field of psychiatry, causing them to ignore the word of God over their life.